Hi dreamers, I'm back. It's been a little while since I have posted a YouTube video, but I'm really excited to share with you today these 4 steps to interpreting any dream. So my name is Pam Muller, renowned dream expert, trained spiritual director, and your new source for dream tips and interpretation and all of your dream questions. Before we get started, I want to invite you to subscribe and click the bell so that you get notifications when there are new videos from me. It's also worth mentioning I am active on Instagram and TikTok. Recently the TikTok stuff has been blowing up, so I've been active there a lot. So you can find me in all the social media platforms at Sweet George Pam. So please click around after that and let me know, follow, and then wave, send me a DM, comment, let me know that you found me through YouTube. That would be really helpful. Thanks. Okay, so here we go. So these are the 4 steps that I use when I am breaking down somebody's dream for interpretation. The first thing that I always ask for is the emotions. What were the emotions that you experienced inside the dream? And the important thing to keep in mind for this one is how you felt when you were in the dream, because dreams contextualize our emotional experiences, so that our repressed emotions, so that we can have a little bit of a pressure valve release on some emotions that have been building up unconsciously. So the dream is going to show you the truest form of an emotion. And so the more specific you can get when you're journaling, like what were the emotions I felt in the dream, the more information that's going to give you about some trapped emotions that maybe you aren't giving voice to enough in waking life. So paying attention to the emotions. Another thing that I want to point out about this is that oftentimes when we're sharing a dream, a different emotion will come up. And that's not the emotion we're asking for in dream interpretation. So you might tell a dream and say something like, it sounds like it should be really scary, but I wasn't afraid in the dream. So the emotion that you're going to look for is, what was I feeling in that dream if it wasn't fear? So you want to try to dial it in as specific as possible to, like, the best way you can possibly describe the way you were feeling. That's what you want to journal about. After you have journaled the emotions that you experienced in the dream, the second thing I want you to record is, we're going to call it the theme of the dream. What was the main premise of the dream? A good way to get at this is to give your dream a title. And what happens when you give it, sorry, I'm playing with my hair. What happens when you give the dream a title is that you're forced to sort of focus on what had the most energy in the dream. Okay, so what was the most important? What were the most important things that happened in the dream, or what was the focus? So jot down the theme of the dream or the title. Your title can be as long and complicated as you need it to be, or it can just be a one-word title. Doesn't really matter. It's not about how good your title is. It's about how well your title captures for you the main idea of the dream. Okay? So first, your emotions. Second, the theme or the title of the dream. And then the third element that I want you to explore are the symbols. What are the main symbols in this dream? Keep in mind that a symbol doesn't have to be a noun, a person, place, or thing. It might be an action. It might be an environment. It might be, I don't know, it can vary. Sometimes symbols can be like a sense of foreboding. That might be a main symbol in the dream. Or a sound that you heard, or you can have nouns. So we've got the emotions, we've got the theme, we've got the main symbols, and then lastly, and this is the one that I find the most interesting, is that I want you to journal and reflect on what other details of the dream still are begging for some attention. The way that your dreams are produced is everything in the dream, every aspect, every element, every transition, everything is symbolic of something or some new information or some new perspective that your unconscious mind is trying to present to you. So if you take those main three elements out and then you walk through the dream and you go, okay, what's still important here that I haven't really reflected on yet? And it might be a small little detail that wasn't really part of the important part, but it's still really curious to you. Sometimes I like to think of that as what is odd, even inside of the dream, something that's still really odd, and it made me really curious. Sometimes those are clues from your unconscious about how to shift in waking life to address the issue that the dream is addressing. So if you'll record and reflect on what else still is important, what other details are still important for you, then by the time you finish reflecting on all of those 4 aspects of your dream and kind of just journal them out, just get creative and kind of open, what do they call that? Stream of consciousness writing, right? So just journal a little bit about each of those 4 elements of the dream. I guarantee you that by the end of that session, by the end of that practice, you'll have a hint or a clue or some new ideas about what this dream might mean for your waking life. I do have dream interpretation services on my website. I'm also a trained spiritual director, so sometimes the dream work really gets us deep into your big life questions, and so spiritual direction is the training that I pursued to help me hold safe space for you while we explore those things. So I have lots of I always have lots of ideas about people's dreams. So if you want to work with me, I would welcome that, especially if you can bring some reflecting that you've already done on these 4 elements. Good luck, sweet dreams. Thanks for tuning in.